How's it? How's it? Otherwise, you well? My name is Nina Hasty, and we are out here. We are asking questions, saying things, and trying to answer the question of how do you know how you are if you don't know who you are? Like, what's the metric for well-being? This is a comic's approach to well-being, and sometimes a comic is serious, sometimes a comic, laughs. Either which way, I want to look at things with lightness and look at a variety of things. We've had a lot of psychologists and psychiatrists and doctors on this season, and I met/bumped into our guest today in another country earlier this month, and it was quite a phenomenal experience as we were in the sort of shuttle going from the airport to the hotel. We realized who we were in the world. And this person knows everything there is to understand how to lose everything and how to find your way back into purpose. An advocate, a mother, a deeply conscious human being. It is my absolute joy and pleasure to bring to studio today Mom Louis Zonda. Hi.
Hi, Nina.
How are you?
I am well.
Are you?
I am well.
You know, I saw you this weekend.
Yes.
And I get to see you again today. I think that we knew that it wasn't a passing thing. You know, you often meet people on these conferences. You meet people at these conferences. And you want to sort of carry on conversations, but it doesn't always happen.
It's for the conference.
Yeah. It's, it's like your festival friends, but I knew that wouldn't be the end or the beginning of our conversation.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna give a bit of context to everybody with regards to who you are in the space of the very public passing of your son, Riky Rick. Should I, what I'd like us to do, in the fact that you honor his memory, not only with the grief, but with action, creating a foundation, leading the Riky Rick Foundation for the promotion of artivism, how you use creativity as a tool for healing and this connection and transformation. And we are going to talk a bit about grief. I hope that you have capacity today. Yeah. Do you have capacity today to go there?
Feels like I do.
Yeah?
It does feel like I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
You are you're so authentic that I know if I asked you if you had capacity and you didn't, you'd be like, well, we can touch on it lightly. And if you want to just touch on it lightly, it's okay. We don't have to go through the depths of everything.
Yes.
So I think what I'd like us to do is, because Otherwise You Well is actually a conversation more about self-awareness than anything else. I think let's ask, otherwise, who are you, right? So Louisa, before we talk about anything else, if somebody met you, right, and they didn't know anything about you, sorry, Matt, can you just, thank you so much. If somebody met you for the first time, like we're on the back of a bus, and we don't know that you're Riky Rick's mom, or that you've got a foundation, or that you're an activist, what would you want them to know about you?
I think the first thing that might just come out in that first conversation with a person would be, oh, I miss my grandchildren. And then once you start on grandchildren, the conversation just flows. There's just so much to be said about them, and they are the center of life. They are everything that is hopeful, that is beautiful, that is bright, that is meaningful. They almost always present second chances for me. It's almost like there's an opportunity to do better, there's an opportunity to do well. So the grandchildren would be the first thing that would be a place of conversation. And of course, because of them embodying everything, that leads then into everything. And I would give stories about how much I laugh out loud and how much I feel buckets full of tears, because mine are always very close to the exit. I really do release through tears. And I laugh a lot, and I dance the silly dances, and I feel a lot of pain about the world and where we are, about humanity and how we are disconnected. I think those are the things that will just flow in a conversation like that.
I think the first thing you said to me is, because everyone's trying to contextualize when you get to these conferences. And we were at the Hearth Summit, which is a global, annual global summit of change makers in the well-being space. And so, you're trying to contextualize, but what I really enjoyed about the ethos of that is that the organizers suggested to us that we don't introduce ourselves by what we do, but by who we are.
Yes.
And that is the thinking of all of this, is like, who are you? And the first thing you said to me before that was even the instruction from the organizers is you said, I'm a grandmother. And I was like, oh, okay, that's nice.
Yes.
And only much later did I discover that you are my friend's mom. Both of your sons are, were my friends. Well, Riky was my friend, and Shekana is still my friend. So to meet your friend's mom is always like, it's always so nice to place where they got their energy from. I mean, meeting Shakes, he was one of the most profound people I had met in a very long time. He just knew so much. He knew so much about the world. I mean, I said, I'm half Serbian, or my mom's Serbian. He knew the history of Serbia and like Yugoslavia. I was like, how do you know this? No, well, he read about this. He knew about that. He's just one of the most interesting, deep, like knowledgeable human beings. And you raised two phenomenal human men. Really.
I'm glad to hear, because parenting is not easy. For many of us, we just stumbled into it without even the wisdom to even navigate our own lives. And it was just a constant stumbling. And so when the outcome of parenting has got good fragrances, that's always a blessing. It's grace. It really is. And of course, it doesn't mean when we look back and in hindsight, we don't see things that we feel thoroughly guilty about, and very quickly get out of the guilt and try and repair and try and do better. Yeah.
And that takes training, it takes training, because it's not something, resilience is trained. It's not you nobody is born with resilience. You exercise it, you build it, you strengthen yourself. If your soul had a soundtrack right now, what would it be?
I believe it will be Letambulu Maruapula is the song of happiness.
Really?
Yes, Maruapula is the song of happiness.
Can we find that, Matt? Okay, we're gonna find that and we'll play it for you as we come out. What is something about yourself that you've only recently learned to love and accept?
You are wanting me to be very honest now, and I'm going to be honest about it and say my body. My body, yes.
That's interesting.
Yes. My body in this very, very recent years has taught me to love it. And I have come to love it in various ways. In its menopausal state, in its reconnection from the disconnection that was caused by trauma. And I'm beginning to love all parts of the body.
You know, as women, to have that conversation, I mean, I've struggled with my weight through most of my adult life. Like the insulin resistance that we were talking about on the weekend, what I look like, how my face shape changes, and allergies and all kinds of things. And, you know, you think about all this superficial stuff. And then when it comes to the nitty gritties, you're like, oh, wait, does my body work? Does it function? Does it serve me? Am I serving it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. You've carried a very public, heavy moment of having the world's, or the you know, the whole country and a large portion of the world looking at you as you grieved your son as a mother. Is there something that people said to you that was helpful? And were there things that people said that actually weren't helpful? So if someone else was going through something like that, what would you suggest they do or don't say to someone?
Yeah. I think I'll come at it from what I'm grateful about. I became very grateful that there weren't too many people around me who had the habit of telling me they know. Because in the few instances where that sense of knowing what I'm going through was communicated to me, I would just, my body is even going through that feeling of just constricting from it and rejecting it because it cannot be true. It cannot be true that you know, because I don't know. Even I don't have the words to put to the emotions, to the feelings that are here with me now. So I was very, very grateful that for the bulk of experience, people simply sat next to me. They just were softly with me. They did not want to tell me that they know. And in fact, when they told me that it's impossible for me to even imagine, that opened up for me. That opened up my heart. It opened up everything. And I settled. It regulated me. So that sense of us knowing that when people are journeying with huge pain, huge grief, huge trauma, it's the quiet presence rather than the introduction of their own knowing experiences that is needed at that point. In the quiet, the sharing helps though, but it's not sharing from the position of asserting that you know what I am going through. It's a mere sharing which lands with me in a way that says, gradually it says, oh, I'm not alone. Oh, I'm not alone. That sharing becomes important. So that helped me a lot as well. When I then walked up to base camp Mount Everest, and I started writing those little letters to Ricardo, people gave me a huge gift when they said, thank you for sharing your story, because just the words you were using about the things you were feeling at different times, the thoughts you were having at different times, helped me to put some language to what I'm going through and to express myself and to talk about my own experience. And so that also helps a lot. For me, being able to make sense and to hear somebody tell me that you made sense for me, that was very important. Yeah.
Sure. You're articulating what very few people have managed to articulate, because people are experiencing trauma all the time. They are experiencing grief all the time, but in so many different forms. And we're clumsy with each other.
Yes.
We're clumsy with each other. And in my experience, sometimes before I see somebody that's going through something that I don't have any understanding of, I've even Googled, what do you say to someone that is going through this?
Yeah.
Because I've been clumsy and careless with people before. And I think it's, there's maturity, and then there's also just access to information. We live in a place where we've got access to every type of book, every type of podcast, every type of information. If you truly care about the people around you, take a beat, take 2 minutes just to learn how to show up for them.
Just a glimpse, because even as we try, it can never be perfect, and so we should lend grace to each other, knowing that people, they are uncomfortable with the uncomfortable, and grief is uncomfortable, pain is uncomfortable. It's almost like we are wired to want to bring ourselves out of it and to bring others out of it, because it is so uncomfortable to sit with a person going through grief.
Absolutely. And everybody, there's levels to it, right? So you can't, there's no measurement of grief. There's no barometer. There's and there shouldn't be any barometer, and there shouldn't be any, okay, well, time's up, you got to stop grieving now. There's no measurement of these things. Whatever the reality of your experiences is what it is. Do you still speak to Ricardo in spirit?
I don't think it will ever end. And well, I shouldn't say I don't think, I know it will never end. Because there is a way I see and believe, and I believe he continues in a lot of things. He continues in the things that he loved. He continues in the people that he loved. He continues in the legacy that he has left, the music, the culture, the connection to young people, the caring for young people, the call on all of us to care for each other. He continues in there.
How do you feel? Forgive me for cutting you short. How do you feel listening to his music? When you hear his music, does it catch you off guard? What does it elicit in you?
Lots of things. I go to the internet to find peace, solace, and joy in material that is about Ricardo. But at times, it strikes me with the most unbearable pain. Even today, and there's no telling. There's no telling. There's just an awareness that sometimes, even when I think I've been through growth and understanding of how to navigate the blockages and the intense emotions, they still come upon me, and I'm still caught off guard. And I still get triggered out of the blue. Once I went to an outpatient's a section of a hospital, and I was kept for a long time in there because of an investigation. While I was in the beds on the other side, the admin staff brought a record that I had entered some time back before Ricardo passed, and they were asking me to change the details. They never saw an old woman wail as much as that, just that act of bringing a file to change a name hit me. So it's a road that you navigate with tools, but never with the assurance that you understand how things land and how things will unfold with you as you move along. Yeah.
What is artivism? What you're an activist. What is artivism?
So artivism is something that comes from Ricardo's criticism of our activist lives.
Amazing. Okay.
For us, it comes from mainly from that, because in Ricardo's analysis of the state of the world, he basically was telling us that you guys have been activists for all sorts of causes, but look at the state of the world. Everything is going in the wrong direction. That's because we speak in the way we speak, we behave in the way we behave. We've got organizations that are organized in the ways that they are, but that is also disconnected with where people are. People are moved by culture. People are moved by the arts, and there's a lot of science around how that happens. But it's just that it seems to be the natural order. But in activism, we almost introduce the arts and the culture just at the periphery. We don't center messages even in what is culturally relatable. So we don't center messages through songs that become popular songs, and we don't bring the issues of the climate crisis into Amapiano. And yet, Amapiano is what is moving young people today, the world over. So that this is the place where the connection between culture, art, and activism for social change happens. Artivism.
I mean, I had a very visceral experience of how doing comedy in a situation that was about activism, about social change, about climate change, about change makers and their well-being, and inner work, intergenerational trauma, all of the stuff that we were working on. And then how desperately we needed to laugh in the midst of all of those conversations. I didn't realize how, I often say, the reason I do this is for people to laugh, that I'm in service of people. My job is to serve people with entertainment, and that was what a big shift for me as a comedian, to get over my nerves and to get over pandering to an audience to make them like me. And to work through all of that, I realized the number one responsibility I have is to make these people laugh. I'm in service of them. I'm in service of the audience. And that removed a lot of stuff. It removed my body issues. They did my hair weird for the Netflix special. I looked crazy. I was fat. The outfit that I chose, I watched a special that they're doing repeats on. Like 2 of my specials are busy doing repeats. One, I'm bald. The other one, I'm wearing patent leather shiny pants, and I'm fat. The other one, I'm wearing leather and I'm fat. Like, and all these things are these versions of myself that I don't like. But I realized people messaged me to say, hey, we laughed so hard at this thing we saw on the weekend. It was an old show of yours, but we laughed. And I realized, that's my responsibility in the space. I just have to make people laugh. But even in my experience of, I love live music. I've been to so many music festivals. I love musicians, because they can do something I can't do. And they are documenting the culture live while we're experiencing it. And they're busy making art with us at the same time. It's just, for me, that is where life happens. It's the thing that makes me feel alive and connected.
Absolutely.
So that space, it almost feels like the climate change conversations. All of these conversations need to be sandwiched in a consumable, comfortable meal of laughter, of music, of whatever, while we digest the very difficult conversations about our climate, about trauma, about grief, etc. I mean, I have one quite a macabre. My mom's dog died yesterday, and
sorry about that.
Thank you. People that are dog people will can appreciate that this was her dog for 15 years. This is a big part of her life, and she was going blind, and anyway, but she drowned. And my mom had to get her out of the pool, but my mom took her clothes off and jumped into the pool and grabbed her and got her out. But my mom didn't just take her jacket off, she took all her clothes off, underwear, everything. There was this garden service, this new garden service that was there. The housekeeper, and there's this insane woman naked holding her dog. Like, when she was telling me the story, I was like, my first reaction was to laugh at, imagine what the garden service must have thought. There's this crazy naked lady, like frantically freaking out, you know. And we had a laugh out of sheer relief. To not disguise, but to change an image that was hideous for her. That there can be some sort of relief of whatever that thing, because the trauma, the grief, the pain, the situation sits in your body. Wherever it is, and it needs to come out, and it doesn't always come out in that moment. And if you can find a little, do you use a pressure cooker?
No, I don't.
I use a pressure cooker because I don't use a microwave, and I need something that can switch itself off, because I forget about food all the time. And
I always tell people, I don't know how long it takes to cook that. Just stay with your pot.
You see, I can't stay with the pot. I burn soup. I don't know anyone else that burns soup, but I'm a notorious soup burner because I can't stay with the pot. So I often use the pressure cooker. And in order to get the lid off, you press the button that releases all the pressure. But sometimes press, like there's an extra like emergency button that you press to release that tension
Yeah.
even faster.
Yes. Yes.
But it burns when you touch it. So you have to let the pressure release in the time that it releases. You've just got to wait.
Yes. Very much so. That's such an important lesson that we should learn, because what I struggled with the most is the sense of really, really taking care, really being soft and compassionate towards myself. And you can imagine that if I had lived for most of my life without being skilled at that, and I suddenly come to be informed that this is an important thing I must learn, it was very hard for me to stay with it because of that extremely hot pressure button that you have to touch. It's almost as if once I started with the practice of attending to myself, there was too much, the fire situation when when you open up the door and the oxygen comes in and the fire just grows. Yeah, it was that kind of thing. It comes flooding because I'm learning to do a thing that eventually would be helpful for me, but I'm starting at a place where for me it is not going to immediately be helpful. So I touch lightly on even the self-compassion. And so when people realize that, oh, you're not exercising self-compassion. I've had a situation where a loved one has told me that, well, you've done so much work, you're not exercising self-compassion. It means the work is not done. But it does not mean that. We move. Progressively, the work is being done. We are healing things in ourselves by allowing ourselves to practice these releases, to practice these things of attending to ourselves, to practice these things of sitting with others in vulnerability and being open and not needing to hide so much, not needing to be afraid of so much. And speaking about the unspeakable with others. That's progress. But it does not mean there will not be a moment where I can't bear it and I look like I am that person who never started the work.
Sure.
Yes.
And there's, I'm sure, a lot of like self-judgment constantly that happens in that space. And because you're kind of under public scrutiny as well, a lot of people do experience trauma, but there's no public scrutiny of it. Again, under this a different set of circumstances, you've got your experience, and then people that are constantly triggering you, know, and there's constant reminders of those things. I had an experience yesterday. I had a performance not too long ago. It didn't go too well, and I was convinced that everybody hated me and that they were plotting against me. The haters, the haters are plotting.
Yes.
To the point where I started giving myself alopecia again. My hair was falling out in patches. To the point where eventually my friend sat me down till about midnight the night before last and was like, what war is this that you're having, this imaginary war that you're having with everyone. You know that only you are at war.
Yeah.
No one cares. No one cares. No one's criticizing you. No one's judging you.
Yeah.
In fact, even if they are,
Yeah.
look at how much smack people spoke about Trevor when he was coming up. People said horrendous things about him. Did he let that deter him from what he had to do?
Yes.
And she said to me, it seems like you are, yes, things are coming at you. Yes, you've experienced loss this year. Yes, etc. Yeah. But it seems like you've taken, you haven't got your eye on the ball because you haven't got your ball.
Yes.
What is that ball? Can you see it? Do you know what it is? Is it a monetary amount? Is it you standing in Slovenia giving a talk? What's the next goal? What is the vision? And I think, and that's a lot of the thinking that my therapist has taught me is, have a vision, have a goal. But sometimes, particularly when you're an artist or an activist or whatever, what is the tangibility of that? Okay, what is that ultimate goal look like? And it changes and it shifts.
Yes.
And you're allowed to revisit what that looks like.
Yes.
And understanding that I need to relook at whatever that final thing is, whether it's my slogan, whether it's my mission statement, whether it's my brand, whether it's a monetary, okay, at $10 million, then I've made it, or whatever the thing is. I have to decide what that thing is, because when you don't know what that thing is, every little trigger can pull you in any direction. Someone can say, oh, why is Otherwise You Well?
Yes.
It's just a little podcast. Why is it taking you so long to get off the ground?
Yes.
It's just a little podcast. Just, but I'm the one criticizing myself. No one is thinking at home, Nina, it's taken her 5 years to do this little podcast of hers. When is it going to get off the ground? No one is thinking that.
Yes, yes.
So when you're experiencing grief, and very real grief, when people say things like they know what you're going through, it must make you want to explode.
To be honest, it does, but it's not only the anger, but it's also that sense of being hit hard again, such that you feel like giving up, because it feels like there's no understanding. There's no understanding of the navigating that I am doing. Because at times, even the simplest of tasks, even the simplest of achievement eludes me, because I just don't have the energy for it. Things just seem to switch off at some point. But even in that state, I have now come to learn that I can stay with that. I can sit with it. And I can allow myself to slowly look at how I am feeling. And just look at what I'm feeling. Look at it. And when I'm looking at it, you talked about the gaze. When I'm giving it the gaze, it changes. It changes into other things. And then suddenly I realize, I've got the capacity to get up and maybe take a walk. And from the walk, maybe I have the capacity to look at one email and build up, and build up. And watching myself go through things that I cannot always explain to other people because they don't have the lens to see that clearly and to understand it. I realize how enormous the work is at enabling young people in particular to build for themselves the capacities, the awareness that they are not alone, and there is opportunity to deal with this huge sense of disconnectedness, this huge sense of hopelessness, which I hear so many young people speak to right now about so much in their lives. So when in the Riky Rick Foundation for the Promotion of Activism, we launched with the Stronger campaign, mental well-being campaign, which is that song which speaks about how important it is for all of us to take care of each other, to provide the spaces where there is true engagement about how it is with you. And we just, I spoke to you at the beginning about how useful it was for loved ones and people around me to just sit with me. It's still what is needed now, to have the time to just be with others.
I was saying to my sister, who seemed to feel like, she's like, I'm doing all the things, I'm doing the work, I'm exercised, I got myself out of the environment that was toxic for me, I've changed jobs, I've done all the things, I'm in a loving relationship, I'm still forgetting things, I'm still affected by my mental health, I'm still having the mood swings, I'm still having the ADHD. And I said, okay, let's just listen to the sentence that you said. You got yourself out of the environment.
Yes.
You changed jobs. You found a new home. You are in a stable and loving relationship. If you look back a year from before, you were having your mood swings and you were having the ups and downs and all of those things, but none of the rest of your life had integrity. And the thing is about people like me and my sister and whoever else has real mental health afflictions or, like very serious mental health disorders, which I've struggled with for my whole life, is perspective often helps. I sometimes feel like this imaginary war that I'm having with everybody and, like having friends around you that can call you out and say, okay, you're imagining these things as well, or having people to say, hey, look at where you were a year ago. Sure, you've got some debts, you've got a big credit card to pay off or whatever. Where were you a year ago? Or where were you 2 years ago? Or, look how far you've come, because despite everything, you're checking one little email. You're taking one little breath. You are doing at your own pace, slowly, you are still in a better position than you were a year ago. And it's sometimes hard to tell because we live inside our bodies. We're the ones that are living, we're the ones that are experiencing. So it's hard to measure our own growth. But if you take those little steps, because those things are still going to happen, but you are going to be further than you were with yourself. So I understand what you were saying about feeling like you still do your explosions and that you haven't done your work. But triggers are going to happen anyway. But that doesn't mean that every day you haven't been making yourself a better version of yourself. And sometimes just to take like a year back and look back and go, oh, wow. Oh, well done, me. Well, we did this. We did this, little body. you know?
Yes.
My eyelashes are gonna grow back.
Yes.
My hair's gonna grow back,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna be okay.
Yeah. And also losing a lot of things that we've learned to hold on to. And it's not easy to unlearn. Takes time. And even when you think you've unlearned it, you encounter a situation where you realize that you're still holding on to that belief. And you have to, again, attend to it, gently attend to it. And there are circumstances where there isn't the luxury of being gentle with yourself and move slowly. Pressures of life require that you are just showing up right now and doing what needs to be done. And that's a reality. For many people, sitting down and breathing through things is not necessarily the path that they can take. And yet, there's always, in that space, there's always the opportunity for even the people who are on the drudge all the time to bring in reinforcing, revitalizing existence. It may be dancing your cultural dance. It may be going home to an ancestral home. It may be, allowing yourself to be immersed in smudging and saging a ritual and experience. All of these things are part of how we reconnect to our deeper selves, to our broader selves, and find ourselves changing what we see by encountering it, by looking at it. And all of this is available to us. Mm-hmm.
Where do people find information about your artivism? Where do people find out more about the Riky Rick Foundation? How do they get in touch with you?
So let's start with artivism. Last year in September, we had the inaugural Global Artivism convening at the CSIR in Tshwane, and we worked on it in collaboration with TUT and other partners, Global Commons Alliance and Community Arts Network, and a number of other foundations that supported and funded. And this year, the second Global Artivism convening is happening in Brazil, Salvador, and as you may know, that this is the city with the largest Black population in Brazil, and it is the most culturally vibrant city. So it's happening in Salvador from the 3rd to the 5th of November. This is just before the start of that big conference, COP30, in Brazil, Belém. And so the art, if you just Google global artivism, you'll be able to enter into the website and see what is happening around the convening. The convening is the place where in the year artivists from across the globe, who do artivism in different ways in their communities, get the chance of connecting physically and virtually. The convening has a virtual component as well. But throughout, there are a lot of connections, seminars, coordination of awareness of who is doing what through a platform which is our stakeholder forum. And we run that platform with our partner, Community Arts Network. And anybody interested in artivism can go in there, fill in a form, be part of the stakeholder forum. The Riky Rick Foundation's website is also available, rikyrickfoundation.org. It has been under repair, but it's coming up soon. By the end of the week, we should be having it up and operational again. And we are looking to make a few announcements soon about the start of a fellowship program, which we are hoping we will get support to grow, because this is what Ricardo was about. He said, care for young people, give them opportunities to prove themselves again and again at whatever cost.
Mom Louisa Zonda, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It really has been a pleasure to sit with you. Yeah.
Likewise, to sit with you is an absolute privilege and an honor. And I'm so glad that you guys got to spend some time with her, with me. And healing isn't linear.
Absolutely.
Know yourself, be gentle with yourself, be kind to each other. And yeah, how do you know how you are if you don't know who you are? So get to know yourself.
Yeah.
My name is Nina Hasty. This is Otherwise You Well. Be gentle with yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you.